I also wanted to add this and make a point. This is what I'm about to say is the same concept of people only arguing with statistics, eliminating lived experiences and what majority of people are saying out of their mouths. I think in itself is an adaptation of white supremacy and the culture of America. So one example that I can always think of, and I always see the hoteps and niggas who are abusive and misogynistic always say when they're referring to feminism, they're always saying like, this is what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted to go to work. Now you're complaining that you had to go to work. You're missing a whole chunk of that conversation, which speaks to the actual experience that women have when men are the sole providers and they are stay-at-home wives and mothers. There's a level of abuse that happens because men operate from ego. Men don't want to be providers. They say they do, but they don't. And when they're put in that position to provide for the whole family and be the breadwinners, especially when they have not cracked the code of financial literacy, you will get your ass whooped every time they come home. You will be abused. You will just be a fucking slave, barefoot and pregnant. We couldn't do anything. We couldn't vote. But when you talk to men, all they want to acknowledge about feminism and why that came about is that y'all wanted to work. Now y'all working. Like, what statistic do you read for women, the amount of women who were getting their ass whooped every time their nigga came home frustrated from the job? What statistic is there that talks about that? Somebody was walking around with a petition saying, I know you ladies can't vote, but how many of you really want to? There's nothing saying that women really wanted to vote and they couldn't. You're just saying this is what y'all fought for. Now y'all got it. Now y'all don't like it. Like, what? Why does everything have to be black or white? Everything in a conversation that has to do with making the point and use all of it. Consider all of it. What? Y'all went to work. Now y'all working and y'all not happy. There's still an expectation for women to be doing all the things that they were supposed to be doing since they didn't go to work. But now you're adding 40 plus hours a week on top of that, and you're asking women to bear children, clean the house, work for it. Niggas can't even do it. Y'all can't even do it. Women are out here actually doing it. They're still not getting respect. Niggas are still saying, yeah, I thought y'all wanted to work. You didn't even respect motherhood. You still don't. Men speak as if women were just at home being catered to, feet being rubbed. Oh, baby, I love you so much. Thank you for bringing life into this world. That's not what was happening. But according to textbooks and all of that shit, women were just, bored and untouched, and they just said, you know what? I want to work. No, it's not true. Just like it's disingenuous to say that we're all doctors and lawyers and that black on black crime doesn't exist, and it also exists in other communities and other races are struggling with the same things we are. And black people love to hang on to slavery, right? You love to talk about how you were slaves and nobody else endured the things that black people in America endured. So it would be safe to say that the outcome of the things that we endured are also unique and have also affected us to this day. We don't get to pick and choose what has affected us. Cherry pick, we can talk about this, but we can't talk about that. You're no better than them white people. You're no better than them. And you have to face the fact that the reason that you want to drown out the conversation is because of your ego. And it's because you want to fit in this country and appear to be well-rounded. And it would be smart to just think of yourself and portray yourself that way. But you're trying to drown out a conversation when everybody doesn't fit the bill. And a lot of us are struggling. And a lot of people are going to be affected by the laws that Trump passes. And because we're not in a position that we should be. There is no community. I don't care how many times black people want to lie and keep trying to tell people, we're a community. We own shit. You don't own... Black people who do this are so disrespectful to me. They could have been raised by a single mother and would still sit there and say, it's not all of us. Okay, it's not you, and it's not maybe your friend or whatever. There's a large number of people, women, who are giving birth to children by themselves, okay, and raising children by themselves. Let's just stop at that point. That is happening. And according to black people who don't want to acknowledge this because they want the black community to be represented by their accomplishments, you want the black community to look good. You want it to look good. That's all it is. And that is white supremacy. You have developed a mentality of fuck the people who are suffering. Like, as long as I'm good, and as long as like people know that we ain't that bad. We are that bad. Shame on you. That we need to fight for humanity. This is the point of, it's not about being an Uncle Ruckus or Uncle Tom. The point of pointing out that there is no fucking clean cut line between the behavior of white and black people is so that we can understand, oh, these are the ways we're suffering as a whole, as a society, and what needs to be fixed. But if we only focus on one group at a time, it's easy to play that blame game and to try to put all of your frustration into the one group. And I know you guys don't want to hear if you're black, and you claim you're not racist, but what about white people who aren't doing anything to you that you just blanketly label racist? I know you know what that feels like because they did it to us. So now what you're saying to solve that is to now blanket label all white people, because that's going to resolve something. There's actually no resolve that's going to come out of doing that. Pointing fingers is not going to fix that, especially pointing fingers in 2025 about our history that none of us were fucking present for.